those budget categories I gave you because they should be triggering questions in your mind. This is a list of other questions that you can use to ask yourself when you budget, or as the colleague there said, when you sit together as a team and ask each other, do it as a team. These are the sort of questions you should be asking yourself. Who is involved and to what extent? How much time? The who is always a cost involved with who. All right, so is it a student? Is it a professor? Is it a junior lecturer, etc., etc.? How long? Obviously, time is very important, hence your Gantt chart for costing people. Will you involve students? What will they do? That question is always important. What will this person do? So if this person will do laboratory work, all right, so there's a cost. I need to unpack that. That question, what will they do, is very important. Are there equipment needs? How will the procurement affect the research schedule? So remember, I would imagine all universities, procurement can be a really slow process, and we feel very frustrated by it. But of course, they're trying to protect the university from what's it called, tenderpreneurship, all of those sort of things. That's why it takes all that long, because they're trying to save the university from wastage. But you do need to understand how long it will take. Where will something happen? Where will the work happen? Always a cost there. Is it just in the lab? Maybe there's no cost there. But as soon as you move out of the lab, in somebody else's lab, or into the field, costs, costs, costs. So mathematicians, you work in your offices. Paleoscientists, you work in the field. Strong material people, you work in the lab. So mathematicians maybe don't spend much money on where, but the rest of you do. Very, very important.
We sometimes access equipment elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
So we've got the
so you've got to transport, and it's not only you that's got to be transported. Let's say you've got to take a sample or something like that, and it might be a big piece of material, or it might be a powder or whatever. Yes. Okay.
It might require a permit.
Permit, yes, permit. Can you get into that place? And whenever you require a permit, remember that's good to show the permit with the application. I have already got that permit. Ethical clearance doesn't mean important for you guys generally. I believe I heard somebody does.
Sometimes some of us work with modern material.
Okay. Yeah, so then you need ethic clearance. So you need to factor, hopefully, that up front. Most proposals don't require you to have it before you do it, but if you did, all the better. It shows that you've already done that. Yeah, okay. And then is there travel? Travel is very, very expensive, and lots of things come related with that. Okay. And also, it's worth examining if you're going to travel off-site to far away distance and whatnot. The university will help you. Do you need to get special insurance? If you're taking a whole lot of students with you, undergrad students with you, is there insurance if the bus crashes and disaster happens? Hopefully it never does, but if something like that happens and you get sued, what happens? How are you going to cover this? Is the university got something in place? Yes, in most cases, but worth checking that. How would you check that? You go find a friendly bean counter. They will tell you. All right. So I can't overestimate. Don't try and be an expert on everything yourself. Stick to what you're good at, and let the experts help you and guide you. And of course, they will always want you to do that before, because you had the terrible accident, and then you come to them and say, "Where's the insurance?" And they say, "Where? Did you go somewhere? Did you tell me about it?" And you don't want to be in those horrible situations, okay? So check budget categories that the funder will allow. So Carnegie will cover those things, but they won't cover those things, for example. So every funder will tell you what they will cover and what they won't cover. So many funders have this rule. They won't pay for personal computers. Now let's take the mathematicians for example. Let's say you're doing a big simulation and you want a very special computer, lots of memory, very whatever, fancy. That you can not be regarded as a personal computer in the sense that it's inherent to the research project. Okay, but what they're trying to avoid is just people using it to buy things so that they can, I don't know, send emails and, you know, that type of thing. Because it should be general costs that, not specific to the project. So be very careful. This one, the page cost, remember the paying to publish? That one is important, but beware. If they refuse to pay for page costs, never accept a condition, therefore, that you have to publish in an open source journal. More and more funders want you to publish in open source journals. Open source journals always have page costs, so they can't have it both ways. If they insist you publish in open source journals, then insist on having a page cost. So the Wellcome Trust certainly does that. They insist that it's open source journal publications, but then you can always ask for page costs. So know when you're planning your project, where am I going to publish this? Okay, if it's an open source journal that you're choosing, then better check, can you charge page costs? If yes, then go for it. If no, then maybe we have to rethink, where am I going to publish those results? It shouldn't be that way around. I mean, money shouldn't dictate your science in the ideal world. In reality, it has a major impact. But of course, there are other sources of funding that you might use, etc., to help you deal with those issues.